The morning after Ilan's awakening, the vault felt different. Quieter, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Elia moved through her garden with careful hands, collecting ripened energy fruits and sealing them in cloth pouches. Every few minutes she glanced at the sky, not the sun, but the thin fractures forming above it, small hairline cracks in the world's fabric, only visible to someone like her. The apocalypse was ahead of schedule. Her son had inherited a lost bloodline, and now, her daughter was beginning to change too. Lyri had always been strange. Too quiet, too observant. She'd drawn pictures of events before they happened. She'd whispered answers to questions no one had asked yet, but she'd always called them guesses. Elia used to chalk it up to imagination. Now she wasn't so sure. It happened during their afternoon walk beyond the vault border. Elia had taken the children to a stream that wound like silver thread through the whisper grove, hoping for a moment of peace. Ilan skipped stones, newly confident and glowing with power he couldn't yet control. Lyri sat beside the water, staring at her reflection. Then she spoke without looking up. "Mama, don't scream." Elia blinked. "What?" "Don't scream," Lyri repeated softly. "When you see what's behind the tree." Elia froze. Then snap, a twig broke behind them. Elia spun, hands glowing with vault fire, ready to kill. Nothing, just wind, leaves, empty woods. But her heart pounded, because the sound had come after the warning. And Lyri, she was still staring into the water. "Mama," she said again, "can I ask something weird?" Elia sat beside her slowly. "Of course. Am I supposed to have two hearts?" That night, Elia scanned her daughter with every spiritual diagnostic tool the vault allowed. She found no damage, no mutations, but she did find something else. A pulse of energy not tied to the body, not rooted in any elemental affinity. It existed around her, like a soft echo trailing her, movements, time-touched, dreamlike. And within that field, a message from the vault appeared. Lyri Rivers, potential unknown. Affinity, condition, temporal memory, drift detected. Warning, subject's consciousness is partially out of sync with current timeline. Probability of future entanglement, 89%. Elia stared at the screen. She whispered, "Are you remembering things that haven't happened yet?" Lyri, half asleep, nodded. "Sometimes when I blink, I see people saying things twice. Sometimes I already know what you're going to say." She rubbed her eyes. "Sometimes I forget which version is real." Elia's stomach twisted. This wasn't just prophecy. This was layered time, a bloodline ability even rarer than Ilan's. Something that could destroy her mind if left unchecked. She squeezed Lyri's hand. "We'll figure it out, okay?" Her daughter smiled faintly. "I know." Meanwhile, in a far-off ruin swallowed by clouds, something stirred. A creature cloaked in bone and storm turned its head toward the south. Its single eye opened, round and mirror-like. In it, the vault shelter shimmered faintly. And inside that shimmer, a child's reflection stared back. "The girl saw me," it rasped. "She's not supposed to see me yet." The thing rose, slow and unnatural. Its hunger wasn't for death. It was for those who broke the timeline. And now it had found the first one. It started with shadows. They moved wrong. Not just fast or silent, out of sync. Elia noticed it first. While harvesting herbs from the vault's east field, the light from the lantern vines cast clear silhouettes behind her. But when she turned, one was missing. That night, while Ilan and Lyri slept, she ran a full sweep of the vault shelter. Every route checked, every defense ward pulsing bright. Nothing had been breached. And yet the system whispered, "Warning, temporal tracking field detected, source unknown. Target Lyri Rivers, memory signature echo loop, incomplete seal." She pressed her fist to the wall, breathing hard. They're trying to track her through time, through her memories, through what she hadn't even lived yet. That was worse than any monster. She didn't wait for the system to fix it. She didn't wait for the next rift to tear through the sky. She woke her children before dawn. Today wasn't going to be lessons in seed weaving or fruit carving. Today, they would learn to survive. "Why are we up so early?" Ilan groaned, rubbing his eyes. Lyri didn't complain. She simply stared at her mother and said softly, "Something's coming, isn't it?" Elia nodded once. "You're not just my children anymore." She handed Ilan a pulse stone, baton, charged with vault energy that reacted to motion. She handed Lyri something different, a threaded charm of time leaf and whisper glass, fused to an anchor from the vault's oldest tree. Not a weapon, a shield for the mind, You'll both have powers others fear, Elia said, kneeling between them. You'll be stronger than I ever was. But if you don't learn to fight, if you don't know when to run, when to listen, that strength won't save you. Elan looked at his staff with wonder. Will it glow when I hit something? Yes, she said. Very much. He grinned. Lyri held her charm tightly, her eyes distant. I already saw this morning in a dream. What happened in it? Ilia asked. Lyri blinked. I don't want to tell you. That answer made Elia's blood turn cold. The training began in a hidden quadrant of the vault. Vault terrain shifted to simulate forest combat. Moving roots served as dummies. Flying seed pods reacted to fear levels. The system kept score. Elan stumbled at first. Too much power, not enough control. But then he learned how to focus. When he stomped the earth with intention, the ground pulsed. A wall rose from nowhere. A bolt of sound shot from the dirt. He roared with laughter. I can punch the ground. Lyri, meanwhile, didn't punch anything. Instead, she dodged perfectly, before anything moved. It was like watching a memory on rewind. She was never touched, never startled. But when Elia tried to test her with a surprise move, Lyri screamed, and time froze for a heartbeat. Literally, the lights dimmed. The vault flickered. Elan dropped to the ground, gasping. Then it all snapped back to normal. Elia grabbed her daughter. Are you okay? Lyri trembled. Someone tried to talk through me, like they knew me. Her voice cracked. It wasn't mine. That night, Elia locked the vault with a living seal, a barrier only her bloodline could pass. She sat at the center of the shelter, arms around her children, eyes never closing. I promised I'd protect you. But if they come, I'll make the sky bleed before they touch you. Outside the vault, far above, the world continued. But in a shattered dimension outside of time, a cloaked being stood before a wall of echoes. There, among 1,000 futures, one thread glowed brighter than the rest. A family, a mother, 2 children. One of them now saw the future. And the other was already shaking the world. It began with thunder, but there were no clouds. The vault trembled, not with warning, but with recognition. Elia was tending to the moss wards when the system pulsed a high-priority alert in her mind. Dimensional disturbance detected, zone Eastern Outlands. Type, summoning rift. Entity signature, confirmed. Subject, Soren Velt, Class A anomaly. Status, deceased, previously confirmed, Year 9. Current status, active. Elia dropped her tool. Her hand went numb. No? Not him, not now. Soren Velt had once been a hero. Leader of the Dawn Strike Battalion. Survivor of 27 rift incursions. Charismatic, brilliant, adored by many. Until Year 8. Until he broke. Until he offered up an entire refugee district, children, families, friends in exchange for immortality. Not metaphorical, literal. He became a vessel for a god that no longer had a name. Ilia had killed him herself, pinned him with a soul thorn, and watched the life leave his eyes. But now, he's back. She didn't tell the children. Not yet. She left them with Kale, cloaked them in vault camouflage, gave Lyri an emergency soul anchor, and told Elan, if the ground tells you to run, you run. Then she opened a vault path to the Eastern Outlands. The moment she stepped through, the air hit her like a curse. The sky was dark, even though it was barely afternoon. The ground where the rift had opened was scorched black. No grass, no insects, no sound. And standing at the center of it all, him. He looked almost the same. Tall, broad shoulders, silver armor, cracked and weathered. Hair long, eyes empty, except for a strange, mirrored light in both irises, like they reflected things from somewhere else. Soren Velt. His voice was calm when he saw her. So it was you who rewrote the timeline. Elia stood still. How are you here? He tilted his head. The world hates a broken pattern. You shattered it. Time screams now. Reality bleeds. And the things behind the glass? Listen. She summoned her flame vines. They curled around her fists like serpents. You made a deal with something that should not exist, she said. Soren smiled. An empty thing. And yet, you brought it with you. That little girl of yours. Ilia moved, faster than light. She struck with a full blast of vault fire, aiming for his throat. He vanished and reappeared behind her. But her roots were already there, anticipating his second step. She caught him mid-phase and slammed him into the soil hard enough to crack a crater. He coughed blood, but he laughed. You're stronger now. he rasped. I wonder, what will your daughter become when the gods start answering her? The fight didn't end. It only paused. Because just before Elia drove the killing blow, Soren melted into fog, absorbed by the very rift that had spat him out. And with him a message echoed in the sky. This world is unmade now, Mother, and every time you save them, we'll change the shape of death again. Elia fell to her knees when the rift sealed, not from pain, from rage, from memory, from the cold realization that death, in this new timeline, didn't stick the way it used to. And her enemies, those monsters, who were once scattered across years, were coming all at once now. That night, she stared into the fire of her shelter. Her children curled nearby, unaware. Kale sat silently across from her, sharpening a bone blade. They're coming for them, she said, voice like stone. Both of them. Not because of what they are, but because of what they'll grow to become. He looked up. You ready to teach them more? Elia didn't blink. I'm ready to teach them how to win. The vault tree pulsed faintly when Elia made the request. Request. Activate accelerated growth chamber. Code Genesis loop. Time flow ratio, 10:1 internal time, external time. Warning. Mental and physical strain risk above baseline for subjects under 12 years old. She read the warning twice. Then she ignored it. Begin construction, now. By morning, a new door opened within the vault shelter. Stone and wood folded around spiraled roots, forming a living threshold. Beyond it, the Genesis loop, a place where time moved differently, where every hour passed tenfold inside. This was no longer a home. This was a forging ground. Aaliyah stood before her children, dressed in her training gear, eyes sharp. Lyri clutched her charm necklace. Elan gripped his earth staff, trembling. From this day forward, Ilia said, you will train every day inside the Genesis loop. How long? Elan asked. 5 hours a day. Wait, Lyri frowned. That's 2 days inside. Elia nodded. Time is no longer our friend, so we'll bend it. Inside the chamber, the pressure hit instantly. The air was thick, not with heat or magic, but with the weight of expectation. The chamber itself responded to intent. It created obstacles, mirrored illusions of fear, crafted conditions that tested not just skill, but spirit. Elan fought walls that struck back. Each swing of his staff created tremors. At first, wild, dangerous. But over days, weeks, inside the chamber, he began shaping them. A stomp became a focused quake. A roar became a wall of stone between his sister and the threat illusion. The vault conjured. He even smiled once. I think I get it now, Mama. Elia, bruised from sparring, grinned. Good, because next time I fight back harder. Lyri's training was different. The chamber didn't fight her. It reflected her. Her sparring opponents were not monsters. They were her. Lyri crying, Lyri screaming, Lyri saying things she hadn't said yet. They'll die unless you change the future again. Why do you always forget me? Don't tell Mama, she'll be scared. The vault couldn't hide the growing instability. Warning. Subject Lyri Rivers, temporal echo field expanding. Cognitive synchronization, 78%. Multiple threads detected. Elia noticed the change too. Lyri moved before the illusions did. Her eyes saw what wasn't there yet. Sometimes she muttered words in her sleep, answers, to questions no one had asked yet. One night, after Lyri collapsed mid-training, Elia caught her in her arms. Her daughter's small hand clutched her collar. Mama, I don't want to become her. Elia pulled her close. Who, baby? Lyri's eyes blinked slowly. The version of me who kills people first. Outside the chamber, Kale watched with grim approval. They're becoming monsters, he said. No, Elia replied. They're becoming weapons. By the end of 2 real days and 20 vault days, Elan could summon armor from the ground, feel enemies before they struck, and bring down stone pillars with a whisper. Lyri could move seconds before time allowed her to, bend probability, and stop people from remembering things she didn't want them to. But their bodies ached. Their minds cracked. They were still children. And Aaliyah knew she would have to give them more than training. She would have to give them hope. That night, she brought them outside beneath the stars. They sat under the vault tree, drinking glowing fruit tea, curled in blankets. Why are we doing all this? Elan asked. Why is the world so angry? Elia watched the stars carefully. Because someone decided to wake up the apocalypse too soon, she said. And now everything wants to eat the future before we make it. Lyri looked up. So we're not fighting monsters. We're fighting what if, Aaliyah said. What if we failed? What if we hesitated? What if we loved too much to survive? She turned to them both. And I'm going to teach you to destroy every what if that tries to take you away from me.